Why play Ornn Top? Well, he is remarkably tanky. He brings an insane amount of hard lockdown. He makes your entire team's late game brilliant, and he still deals great damage. However, he does want to be in a team fight, he's not great in a side lane, and he can be insanely mana hungry. Ornn has 3 different passives. Firstly, when reaching level 13, Ornn upgrades his mythic item to make the item insanely more effective. For every level up past level 13, he can then upgrade one of his allies' mythic items by right-clicking on them. Secondly, he gains bonus armor, magic resist, and health from all sources. This bonus increases for each time he upgrades a mythic item. Finally, and the coolest in my opinion, Ornn can smith items from his forge menu, which is directly above his items, or straight from the shop, without needing to go back to base. Ornn's Q is a straight line skill shot, which sends out a fissure which deals damage and slows. After a 1.5 second delay, a pillar will erupt from the end, making nearby enemies airborne. Ornn's W makes him slowly move forward, breathing fire, which deals maximum health damage. While moving forward, he becomes unstoppable, and any enemies hit by the final bout of flame become brittle. CC effects against brittle opponents last 30% longer and deal additional magic damage. In addition, Ornn's attacks against brittle targets will knock them back and deal damage. Ornn's E makes him charge forwards, dealing damage to enemies he passes through. If he dashes into terrain, he knocks up all enemies in a large area around him. In addition, if used into his own Q pillar or any other champion's created terrain, the terrain will be destroyed. Ornn's ultimate is a huge wide skill shot which causes an elemental to stampede towards him, which will deal damage, apply brittle, and slow enemies hit, with the slow being increased the longer it's travelled. Ornn can then recast ultimate to dash with a headbutt. If this hits the elemental, he redirects it, making it knock up the first champion hit for 1 second and all others for half a second. It will also deal the damage and apply brittle again. For combos, your basic combo is to use Q, then after a short delay, use E to dash into them before using W, followed by an auto attack. Your big teamfight combo will be to use Q, followed by ultimate. Follow this up with W into auto attack, headbutt your ultimate into another auto attack before using E into a final auto attack. For Masteries take this, it makes you a great tank. For build order, start Shield and Pot into Sunfire and tier 2 boots. After this, get these if you need armor, these for magic resist, and these are great items too. For skill order, start Q, then W, then E, before maxing W, then Q, then E, taking ult whenever you can. For summoners, take Flash and Teleport. Starting the game, you're looking to scale into your unkillable late game. The way to do this is to play safe. Your mana costs early are pretty high, which makes going for trades costly. While laning, you can poke with your Q, and if it's a free trade, you can go for your Q, E, W combo to relieve some pressure on you in lane. After your first couple of minion waves, you'll be able to start buying items in lane which can give you a serious edge. Entering the mid game, you want to keep farming and leveling up as fast as possible, and the easiest way to do this is by split pushing. More often than not, you'll be absorbing your opponent's split push, which is still a valuable role before teleporting into a team fight to provide devastating lockdown and a brick wall for your team. Entering the late game is where Ornn is at his absolute best. Due to his passive, his additional tanky stats have now been maxed out, and you've given about 1,000 gold of value in upgraded mythic items to your entire team. In a team fight, you can play as your teams engage, locking down many of them with your ultimate. Landing this over as many opponents as possible before getting involved with your Q into a multi-person knockup with your E and hitting multiple opponents with your W is a devastating way to fight. You end up being this wall, constantly applying brittle and CCing as many opponents as possible while dealing solid damage.